Good morning, students. We are moving ahead with our next topic, that is infertility. So you need to understand term fertile and infertile. The term fertile means that the individuals are able to reproduce. They are able to produce their next generation. And infertile means when they are not able to produce the next generation. So infertility means that the couples are not able to produce young ones, or you can say they are not having babies. They are not using any of the method, any of the contraceptive methods, but if they are not using any of the contraceptive methods, still they are not having the ability to produce babies, or you can say the young ones. That condition is called infertility. Now in some of the cases, maybe the female is having some problems in the reproductive tract. Maybe she is not able to produce, the different kind of situations can be there. Maybe she is not able to produce the ovum. If ovum will not be produced, again then fertilization is not going to take place. Maybe the oviducts of the female is blocked. If this situation is there, then also fertilization is not going to take place. Maybe the situation can be that the uterus of the female is not going to support the growth of embryo. So uterus is not supporting growth of embryo. The reproductive system of female is producing some of the spermicides that are going to kill the sperms that are present in the female reproductive system. So all these factors are inhibiting the process of fertilization, and if fertilization is not going to take place inside the female reproductive system, that means zygote will not be formed. So infertility situation has occurred. In males also, there can be some defects that are occurring in males. What certain situations can occur in males? The males, either they are not producing sperms, or if sperm production is there, the sperms are not viable. They are not having the ability of fertilization. Or it can be such situation that there is low sperm count. So these situations are associated with male. That means infertility, the reason can be the male reproductive system or the female reproductive system. Now in some of the cases, this infertility can be treated easily. There are various infertility clinics, various doctors are working, and with the help of medicines or small surgical processes, these conditions can be treated. But sometimes these conditions are not curable, or you can say with the help of treatment also these couples are not going to have babies. So they take the help of different methods for having child. We are going to discuss all those methods which are help for the production of their young ones. The first one is test tube baby program. Name is seeming like that baby is going to be produced inside a test tube. This is not the situation. Basically, test tube baby program is done for those couples in which the female oviduct is blocked. If female oviduct is blocked, then sperm and ovum are not coming in contact with each other. Or the situation can be that the female is not going to produce ovum. This can be a situation also. Now in this type of situation, when a female is not able to produce ovum, a donor female can be used. Donor female means the another female that is going to donate her ovum. How ovum can be donated? This ovum can be surgically removed from the ovaries. The stimulation can be the stimulation of Maturation of ovum can be done by certain hormones, and then ovum is removed out from the ovaries with the help of a surgical method. So in test tube baby program, ovum from a female is taken. It is removed with the help of a surgical program. In the same way, from males, this is the situation in females. From males, if low sperm count is there, or if no sperm production is there, then a donor male can be used. And if in a couple, if husband is normal producing, sperms are normally produced, then sperms of the husband can be used. Both the situations can be there. So sperms are taken from the male, or it can be taken from a donor male. These are taken from husband, or if husband is not able to produce viable sperms or sperm count is low, then a donor male can also be used. Now ovum is there and sperms are there. They are fertilized inside the laboratory, or we can say in vitro fertilization is there. In vivo fertilization means inside the body of living organism, and in vitro fertilization means in lab conditions. So in a petri dish, the petri dish is having a nutrient broth, means a medium is there that is containing all the nutrients, and inside this nutrient ovum is placed, and this ovum is fertilized with the sperms. Means in normal processes, this fertilization process takes place inside the body of a female, but in vitro fertilization, this process is maintained in a lab condition. One thing is always taken care of, that is sterilization. Means all these things are done by specialized technicians, plus they are maintaining the sterilized conditions. Now after this fertilization, in this petri dish, zygote is going to form. This zygote can be transferred at this stage, or at almost 8-cell blastomere. This is zygote into the fallopian tube, and this transfer is known as ZIFT. Zygote intra-fallopian tube transfer, or intrafallopian transfer. So from fallopian tube, later on it will get implanted into the uterus. And if this blastomere has matured a little bit more, there are more cellular stages, then it can be directly transferred into the uterus also, and that is known as intrauterus transfer. IUT. Both the situations can be there. So simply test tube baby means the ovum and sperms are fertilized in a petri dish in lab sterilized conditions, and when zygote is going to form, this zygote can be transferred into fallopian tube, or it can transferred at the 8-cell blastomere stage in the fallopian tube, and if more maturation or more division has taken place in the blastomere, this structure can be directly transferred into the uterus also. So this is how in vitro fertilization is taking place in test tube baby program. Now the success rate of this test tube baby program is almost 20%. But the doctors are going to increase the success rate. What they are doing, the ovum production is more initiated, or more ovum are collected, and more ovum are fertilized with the sperms, and more than one zygote is transferred in the body of the female. Simple reason is to increase the chance of survival. And if a female body is not going to support the growth of embryo, it can be transferred into the body of or uterus of another female, and such type of females are known as surrogate mothers. These are not the biological mother. They are only going to carry the zygote in their womb for next 9 months, and they are giving birth to the baby. These are surrogate mothers, but there are various ethical issues that are associated with these cases. So this is how test tube baby program is done. The another is gamete intrafallopian transfer, gift. Gamete intrafallopian transfer means there is transfer of gamete into the fallopian tube of female. Now, which females are required to go through these technique? Simply the females who are unable to produce ovum. Means they are not producing ovum. Ovulation is not going to take place in these females, and if ovum is not produced, then fertilization is not also going to happen. So what doctors do, they provide ovum. This ovum can be taken from a donor female surgically, and it is transferred in the fallopian tube. Now these females who are not able to produce ovum, they are providing proper environment for the process of fertilization. Fertilization is properly happening in these females, plus they are supporting the growth of embryo. This is not going to happen in females, but these processes are taking place normally. So ovum is transferred into the fallopian tube. Now during the process of sexual intercourse, they are going to receive the sperms, and normal fertilization will take place, and this embryo will grow normally in the uterus of the female. So this is how gamete intrafallopian transfer is done. Now the third one is intercytoplasmic sperm injection. This is just like a test tube baby program. Basically the ovum is collected, surgically removed from the female, and there is direct insertion of sperms under lab conditions also. There is direct insertion of sperms into this ovum. That is intercytoplasmic, means in the cytoplasm ovum is there in a petri dish. Ovum is present and the sperm is directly injected inside this ovum. That is coming under intercytoplasmic sperm injection or insertion. The next is artificial insemination. Artificial insemination is done in those cases in which the males are not going to inseminate the females, or their sperm count is very low. In such type of cases, artificial insemination is done. Means the sperms are taken from the male, they are concentrated and they are transferred into the uterus of the female. Means they are artificially inserted into the female reproductive system. That's why artificial insemination. And all these methods, all these techniques are helping lots of couple to have their own child. So these were some of the techniques that are able to, they are not actually curing the infertility, but they are helping the individuals to become parents. Now another thing is there are various techniques developed, and these techniques are helping in knowing about the conditions, or you can say knowing about the proper information about the fetus. Some are invasive techniques and some are non-invasive techniques. In invasive techniques, we are having amniocytosis, centosis. What is happening in amniocentosis? We also discussed earlier that the whole embryo is covered by, this is an embryo, umbilical cord is there, and this whole embryo is covered by a cavity known as amniotic cavity. And this amniotic cavity is filled with a fluid, that is amniotic fluid. And inside this amniotic fluid, the fetal cells are present. These are fetal cells. So in amniocentesis, these fetal cells are extracted out from this amniotic fluid and they can be examined. This process of amniocentesis can be done at 14 to 16 week time period, when the embryo has developed in this time period. Before this, there are more chances of injury to the fetus if amniocentesis is done. How this is done? This is done with the help of a very pointed syringe that is going to move from the abdomen. Abdomen wall will be there, that is going to penetrate the abdomen. Then uterus wall is there, and this syringe is going to enter into this amniotic cavity and it will suck some fluid out, the amniotic fluid, and this fluid is containing fetal cells. Now these fetal cells, they can be examined for various purposes. An important one is various chromosomal aberrations, or we can also say it can be tested also for various genetic defects. Sometimes the child might suffer from Down syndrome, Turner syndrome. All these are defects that are related to number of chromosomes, plus these are not curable. So at this time period, the couple can go for a abortion because the child is not normal, and the chances of survival, or you can say chances of treatment, are also very less. So this is how amniocentesis can be used, but there is also a drawback. This amniocentesis is also used for some illegal purposes. It is also used for sex determination of the fetus. Fetal sex can be determined, and if a normal fetus is growing in the womb of the mother, and the fetus is female, so this female fetus can be aborted. So the sex ratio is going to be affected. So amniocentesis is used for some illegal processes. Otherwise, it is helpful to know about the various genetic defects or chromosomal abnormalities. This is invasive technique because we are going to invade inside the uterus. That's why this is a invasive technique. These techniques, they are always performed by a doctors, or you can say a properly trained individual. The second one is chorionic villus sampling, CVS. As compared to amniocentesis, this chorionic villus sampling is more effective and it is more better. The reason behind this is amniocentesis is done at the time period of 16 weeks. This can be done at the time of 8 to 10 weeks. Means if there is a abnormal fetus growing in the body of a female, it can be easily aborted without not that much harm at this time period as compared to at 16 week. At that time period, the chances of abortion or abortion are going to lead to more side effects as compared to this time period. Plus their chances of injury to the fetus is more. Here chances of injury to the fetus is very less. How this chorionic villus sampling is done? This sampling is done for the collection of cells from the placenta. In amniocentesis, we were collecting the fetal cells from the amniotic fluid. Here we are going to collect the cells from placenta. Basically a flexible tube, catheter, it is known as catheter. A flexible tube catheter is inserted into the uterus of the vagina with the help of ultrasound, that is a high frequency sound waves, and this through the pathway through the vagina, and from the placenta some amount of fluid is sucked, and this fluid is containing fetal cells, and later on these fetal cells are again examined for various chromosomal aberrations. So advantage of chronic villus sampling is it is done early as compared to amniocentesis. Here the fetal cells, they are at their more dividing stage, so number of cells are more, that means it can be examined in very short period of time, plus here there is no harm to the fetus, and abortion can be easily done because embryo has only in its initial developing stages. This is how these invasive techniques are functioning. Non-invasive techniques are also used. And the most common one is ultrasound technique. In this ultrasound technique, simply high frequency sound waves are used, which are going to give the position of placenta and fetus, whether the fetus is growing normally or not. Sometimes in other non-invasive techniques, mother fluid is also taken. Sometimes there are some of the fetal cells, they are going to enter into the mother blood. So mother blood can also be used, and from this mother blood the fetal cells can be extracted and they can be used for further tests, or you can say further examination. Fetoscopy is also used. Fetoscopy means again with the help of vagina, through the uterus a small tube, and on the head of the tube a small ultrasound machine is attached, and through this the internal structures, internal features of fetus can be easily examined. So these are various techniques which are helping in examination of the fetus health. And with this we have completed our last chapter of this unit, that is reproductive health.